Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rongan's podcast. I'm Dinesh Sagi, joined by Amarayan and Pankaj Prasad, our very own PP on the podcast. How are we?
Hello, hello. All good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Exciting day one at the Sydney test. A lot of drama. So without further ado, let's get into the details, right? Before we talk about the test and obviously how day one unfolded, the big news: Rohit Sharma. There's a lot of chat around socials in terms of whether he opted out or was he dropped. So any initial thoughts, and is that the right call? Pankaj, I'll start with you.
Uh, yeah, so it's the right call in terms for Team India. He did not look like moving his feet, so there was no way But I think so. He was dropped more for the dressing room leaks which went out, and that's I feel that's more or less a reason why he might have been dropped rather than for getting in Gill or somebody else. It's more for dressing room leak, which is going on Twitter, and a lot of people are talking about this. And there's a potential that he might be dropped as a captain for Championship Trophy as well, if what the news is coming out from Twitter is. But overall, in terms of whatever the news is, it was a good decision by the team management and the selectors to drop Rohit and bring in Gill.
Wow, that's some big news around Champions Trophy, especially he's a skipper who won us the T20 World Cup and is still like brilliant player in the white ball format. But yeah, interesting fact. Amar, anything you would like to add on Rohit Sharma?
No, I mean sanity prevailed this time. So yeah, as per my team pick, he was dropped. He decided to sit out, whatever it is. Yeah, he was out of the team, and then Gill came in, which was the right call. So we'll see. I mean how it goes. Like Pankaj is saying, Champions Trophy, there might be similar kind of decision as well, but we'll have to wait and watch. But this one is, I think this was the right call.
Absolutely right. So maybe quickly focusing on the toss. Obviously, it was good to see Bumrah come out for the toss, and also obviously he had a lot of good things to say about his skipper, which I think it's all good for the Indian camp. Winning the toss, choosing to bat, was it the right decision, Amar?
I think it was, but overcast. Conditions were overcast. But also we saw there was no difference between the pitch and the outfield. It was all green. So I mean, but interestingly, what we could see was, wherever under the grass, we could see there were a lot of cracks. So all they had to do was really survive. First couple of hours. But we saw that they didn't survive, and the whole batting order collapsed. Really, they were probably banking on maybe surviving initial hours. They thought they would, but it didn't happen. But again, then Bumrah came in and he did his magic as well for that one wicket. I would have thought at that time that it was a good decision, but it looks like it turned out to be not.
Fair enough. Punk, anything you would like to add on the toss? Was it the right call?
No, no, it was a good decision, right, to go and bat. Sydney tends to crack really quickly.
Mhm.
The last time, some matches which we remember of England are the ones who actually won the toss and decided to bat second, and the game got over in 3 days. So if you win the toss in Sydney, you tend to bat first. It was just the initial few hours, which India did well actually. If you see, they only lost 2 wickets. It was just that lunch, the one rash shot by Gill. Apart from that, it was a good decision. If they could have got 250 runs, roundabout, that would have been a good score. And until as the other team does not bat, we won't know whether you will have to. The comparison can only be done once we have Australia batting as well. Um, and if India can restrict them, then they will be batting fourth. So good decision actually. It's just that we have a bit of fragile lineup and undecisive batsmen. That was the only thing. But
Absolutely right. So kind of looking at the scorecard, right? India only managed to post 185. Again, a lot of start stops for the top order. Gill managed to put on a show, 64 deliveries, 20 runs. Kohli 17 of 69, with the top scorer being Rishabh Pant. He's managed to score 40 of 98 deliveries, and some contributions from Ravindra Jadeja, and just with Bumrah towards the end. So quickly focusing on the top order, right? Obviously, we kept talking about how the combination Jaiswal and KL should continue. Uh, Maybe a quick word on KL's dismissal. How we sort of played Delphi's early in the air, and obviously Jaiswal's approach as well. Amar, you want to take it on?
Um, yeah, I mean, it looked like that when the innings started. It looked like India were quite determined
Mhm.
to start well. But then, Rahul was leaving the ball outside the off stump. He was not trying to reach out uh, to the wider deliveries, which was the right call.
Mhm.
Even the runs, you could see that some of the runs in the previous matches, which were risky, they had gone for them. But this time, when initially when they started, it looked like they were cautious. They wanted to set themselves for a long innings, but then unfortunately, KL got out, and yeah, I mean, Jaswal was still okay. He was also trying to pick the right balls to play, and he was
Mhm.
watching for ball swinging as well. So he was most of the time trying to bat straight as much as possible. So all in all, they were cautious. The start was very cautious, but then wickets fell. Um, Shubman Gill, he showed some promise.
Mhm.
He wanted to stay. It looked like on the pitch he wanted to stay and make some runs, but as long as possible. That was the initial impression. But then again, we saw that sledging happened, and he was drawn into it, and it looked like that kind of broke his concentration. I mean, even Kohli batted for a bit. So I mean, he was also looking good. But then again, he also nicked one of the balls, and he got out. Rishabh Pant and Jadeja's innings. There was a good partnership, and they were going well as well. But then, yeah, they couldn't go on for too long as well. So all in all, I mean, they had another disappointment from Nitish Reddy, gone for a duck again. But again,
Mhm.
was a brilliant ball from Boland, and he has a nick of taking wickets early on. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, he is quite. It comes off quite. Looks like his balls are quite off the pitch, and they tend to take nicks. So he was doing quite well. Yeah, just Preet Bumrah gave a little bit of momentum, but yeah, that was it.
Fair enough, right? Obviously, the two big talking points in the first session, right? The catch of the first delivery of Virat Kohli. Punk, your take on it? Was it out or not out?
So that was not out. And for our viewers, I like to demonstrate why it was not out. So I've
Hmm.
got a cricket ball from the 2011 Lords match, which I'd watched. So let me show you. So basically, if you see the way Steve Smith, right? So he's a right-hander. He went down. If all the fingers were under his thing, then it would have been out. But if you see the replays, only 75% of the, like, he had only 25% of the ball under his fingers. So with physics, if you fall, there's a good chance, you know, you this part of the ball would have definitely touched the ground. And if you see the reviews, if you see the photo, evidence and all that, you can see slight grass touching because he did not have full control of the ball. Now that's one part of this thing. The other thing is this was not a player's, like an umpire had given out on field.
Hmm.
And then they are, because if the umpire would have given out on field, then the third umpire would have given him out, right?
Hmm.
It depends that way. But here it was an umpire's review, not a player's review as such, or a team's review. So when an umpire reviews, so the umpire had a second thought that this does not look out. It goes up. You have to have conclusive evidence to give the player, overturn the decision of the on-field umpire. So in this case, because as I explained, 75% of the ball was out of his fingers, not a grip, touching the grass. There was no conclusive evidence for the third umpire to overrule the on-field umpire decision. So that's why he was given not out. So
Absolutely, that was a great point, right? Unless and until there's something conclusive, you can't overturn a decision, and I think Joe Wilson sort of got that right. Amma, do you agree on the call, out or not out?
I initially thought it was out, but then I mentioned to my friend Jagan, who was already on the podcast on the earlier episodes. What he mentioned was that it was at the same point as Punk is saying, it was inconclusive. So um, that's a fair point. It was inconclusive, and also thinking now and looking at the clips now, you can see that it touches the grass also, but also there's another point that he lifted the ball up, and with that action, we falling down, diving for the ball, and ball traveling as well. How easy is it to lift that up until unless you have some kind of assistance from the ground? That is also there. So I think all in all, it's a good decision for him to be given not out.
Absolutely right. So obviously the next point, obviously on the first session, is a lot of chirping or call it sledging happening, from behind the wicket, and obviously that has pulled or pushed someone like Gill to obviously take charge. But the timing, right? That's where there's a lot of feedback on the socials, like it's literally the last delivery before lunch, and for Shubman Gill to do what he has done. Your thoughts on it, Amber?
Yeah, inexperience, I would say. Someone like McGill, I would have expected him to just go for a defensive shot and just not go outside the, not just chase the ball, just play it down. Really, that's what he should have done just before lunch, was it? So yeah, inexperience, and he would have learned from that. But these are costing us games here, so they need to really be careful now.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully, lessons learned, right? And obviously, post lunch, there's a small partnership being developed between Kohli and Pant. Obviously, Kohli seemed to leave the ball outside off stump after the first delivery, but then obviously he is pulled into that shot that we were all hoping he's not going to play. Punk, any thoughts on Kohli's dismissal and his approach on day one?
okay, so I like to put some stats here, right? And I'm going to defend Kohli here, right? On the way he got out, right? So out of the I'm just going to compare with Steven Smith and Kohli's in terms of the ball deviation. So up to the 55th over, the ball deviated a lot, right? So I'm just going to give you a view of. So Kohli has faced 72 balls in his career in terms of the line tracking based on the deviation of the ball from an 8-meter length. And so the ball by ball tracking, which has started like say 2010 onwards for this thing. I'm just giving based on that, not previous to that. He's faced 72 balls. He scored like 24 runs of those balls, and he's got out twice. With that, variation and the length, that ball which has gone out. I'll go back to Steve Smith. Steve Smith has gone out 3 times, and he's faced 77 of those balls, right? So, and he has scored like 30 odd runs of the 77 balls of the same deviation, the same line and length. So just to give you, people critical of Kohli getting out, and I think so Amar did mention about the pitch as well. This is the greenest pitch ever in Sydney in living memory. The last one which comes close was 2010, where Australia won, but they scored 127 all out, right? So just to give you, and not to be, like a bit pessimistic that India, did not bat well. A lot of batsmen from the times of ball tracking, their average on that same pitch, same deviation, line and length, their average would be 11.66.
Interesting.
So, I'm going to defend Kohli for that. He could left the ball, but I'm just giving you on the pure comparison of Steve Smith on the same pitch or the same deviation, same line and length, just to give you a view of Kohli. So it was a brilliant ball, very difficult to leave that alone. And he did not poke that ball at all, right? It was just he wanted to defend it. It
Yeah,
was not like trying to
defensive
drive.
shot. Yeah.
So it was very defensive shot. So, so just want to give that view as well.
Absolutely, and it's good to know. Like, obviously, for everyone who watches it, obviously, depending on what happened in the previous test, they think like Kohli is still trying to try to fish something outside Ostrom. But yeah, shift in focus to punt. Right, he took a lot of body blows. From what memory serves, and me watching live, I think it's close to like 8 or 10 body blows that he took in his 40 runs partnership. On a lighter note, I was just saying to someone on a WhatsApp chat, I don't know if he was scared about the feedback from Sunny G if he plays a rash shot and gets out. So he's willing to take more body blows than probably the post commentary from Sunny G. But yeah, Pant's innings very matured in the sense. Obviously, unfortunate that he perished the way he did. But yeah, maybe a quick word on Pant's approach, Amar.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about body blows. I mean, this would have been less painful than Sunny G's comments. So I think he was all right today. Yeah, since the last test, I mean, looks like he's better in his head now. He needs to watch the ball more and not get drawn into his natural instincts of going for the shot. He played quite a lot of balls today, and rotated the strike as well. And wherever he could, he was playing shots down the ground. So he looked more comfortable, and he looked more confident in terms of they were not shots that looked like he was trying to get out of jail or something. So he was playing shots where he wanted to, and most of them landed there. Wherever he wanted to hit, most of the balls landed. So it was a good innings, but of course, then he skies a ball and then he's out. So we would have liked to see him play a longer innings, but it didn't happen. But I think he was better than earlier innings.
Absolutely right, and obviously, most of the damage was done by Scott Boland. He's averaging 14 in the series, just playing his third test. So in terms of yesterday's innings, right, he bowled 20 overs, considered 31 runs, managed to pick 4 wickets. Could have been easily be 5 and a hat trick if it wasn't for Alex Carey dropping Washi Sundar on the first delivery he faced. But economy 1.55. How consistent was he with his line and length, and obviously managed to do bulk of the damage. So maybe a quick word on Scott Boland, Punk.
Well, so a perfect replacement, right? And his length is such a way, right? Because it shoots off the length, so he bowls a bit of hard ball. So you have that extra bounce from length balls, right? Which actually is a bit difficult to leave, because most of that ball might hit the stumps for batsmen. The one which Kohli got out, right? You could see that it was a playable ball, right? But it just short of length, a little higher on the bat, and he got those wickets. So the good thing is he's got a very controllable line and length, so he can pitch the ball where he wants, which is very rare for bowlers. And we've already discussed about perfect replacement for Hazelwood, a like bowler. And he has the control of the seam, and he can swing the balls both way. So good bowler, right? And he's a workhorse as well, so he can bowl those long spells, still being mid 30s and doing that. So it's a brilliant bowler, brilliant find for Australia. And he's done wonders in Australia, especially on those pitches. He doesn't have good stats outside Australia, but within Australia is a very good find for them. So, and he's a captain's bowler, you can see that.
Absolutely. Amar, anything you would like to add on Scott Boland?
Yeah, like I was saying previously, that what a second choice bowler, but it looks like he will be the first choice. He is not too far away from that from now onwards. Yeah, as Punk mentioned, a very good line and length bowler, and we see that he takes wickets quite early on, and the reason he does so, he is able to do so, is because he keeps a very tight line early on. He does not gives like warm up balls early. He keeps it wicket to wicket, and the batsmen have to go. They have to play. They can't get out of it. So that's how he gets wickets early on. So yeah, very very good find.
Absolutely. And also a quick word on B. Webster, right, who debuted in the Sydney Test in place of Mitchell Marsh. From watching live, he managed to contain one end, and that allowed, like, some of the fast bowlers to kind of go on a smaller spells until the sixth over. I suppose he didn't even, like, concede more than a couple of runs. Maybe a quick word on B. Webster. Punk.
Yeah, Punk, you wanna go?
Uh, yeah, just before I go to Webster, I just wanted to add on Scott Boland, which Omar mentioned as well, line and length,
Absolutely.
right? So,
Mhm.
and then we'll come back to Webster. So, in terms of his stats as well, right? Minimum 50 wickets. He's the best strike rate. He's got 40.3. The next best is 44.5, Fred. And I'll just, like, the current bowlers, we have Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins got like 46.7. So just to give you Scott Boland's record as well in Australia, right? It's 40.3 as a strike rate. So just to add to that, and let's come
Absolutely.
to Webster as well.
Mhm.
So again, a good find for them, and
Mhm.
he's got the height, and like 6 feet 6 or something. Is 190 or 200, I'm
Mhm.
not sure, but he's 6 feet plus, six
Yeah.
feet six or something.
Mhm.
So he's got that bounce, like, and in terms of the speed, he's less than 130. But in Australia, generally, what happens is, you don't find bowlers playing for Australia who are less than 130 less, in terms of speed, right? But he's done quite well in terms of the in terms of speed. He's got the swing, which has worked in domestic cricket, and that has helped for him to get an opportunity to be in the Australian team. In terms of his batting, he's more of a batting all rounder than a bowling all rounder.
Mhm.
Uh, so that helps as well, because you have really great bowlers in the Australian lineup, right? So you need somebody who could actually, do those 15 overs, and somebody who bowls 130, 135 plus for them, because there's extra, effort, and you would need extra energy to do that. They've got a good replacement, because he can, control the ball. His line and length is good as well, so he can do that. Like the workhorse, and get Pat Cummins, rotating his speedsters and his off spinners, this thing. So he can do that, and with that, you know 127, 125, the mid 125 speed. This is he's a good find.
Mhm.
Let's see how he bats as well, but it's a good find for them, and it's a good replacement for Mitch as well. You're not expecting him to take 5 wicket hauls, but you're expecting him to do, contain the batsman,
Mhm.
and the pressure can then not be released. So I liked his line of length. He was not wary. He was very full on.
Mhm.
He gave a lot of opportunities, and that gives the chances as well, because of his speed. There's more chance that you will get catches caught behind. If he balls sort of length, then people will pull him and cut him as well. So uh, he knows his strength. So good bowler as well.
Absolutely. And obviously, kudos to him. Like, a big debut, obviously, in a Sydney Test with everything online, right? So quickly, probably switching focus onto the brilliant Bumrah that we've known and we've seen in the series so far. Obviously, this time with the bat, he managed to score a quick fire 22 of 17 deliveries, three boundaries, and a six. Maybe let's talk about the Bumrah as a batsman, Amar.
Oh yeah, why not? I mean, he could do nothing wrong, especially here. Yeah, very useful runs. He might have only scored 22, but that 22 is quite a lot in the match scenario. And also he was hitting those bowlers who the upper order batsmen were not doing much against. So yeah, he's a fighter. It looks like he's not ready to give up at any stage, whether it be bowling, batting, fielding. So yeah, he's showing that we are not dying easily.
Mhm.
If we are going down, we don't go down fighting. and we have seen that in his bowling as well, and then in batting as well. So very useful 22 runs, I would say.
Absolutely. Punk, anything you would like to add for Bumrah, the batsman?
Well, he's got the highest run scores in an over, and we three have seen it. So nothing more to add. But yeah, like you need as a captain, right? This is something which like the low order batsmen, if they can contribute runs on like tricky pitch, it helps the team. And as a captain, he's shown the low order batsmen that do not throw your wickets away. If you stay in the pitch, you would be able to get some runs, which will help to the entire cause of the team winning, right? So kudos to the captain, and Bumrah is Bumrah, with bat and ball now.
Absolutely. I think him being the skipper, taking that added responsibility, appears to bring the best out of him. But really quickly, in terms of obviously the what happened between the Indian players and Sam Conscious towards the end of the day, some drama over there. Any quick thoughts on Bumrah and this approach, and obviously Sam Conscious as a player?
Yeah, Sam has been a thorn in the flesh, isn't it? From the day, not from the day, from the time he stepped foot on the ground. So no wonder, on his debut match as well, Indians were, quite, I would say, apprehensive of him, so he frustrated them quite a lot, and also by his antiques as well. So to be honest, what he did yesterday, I'm on the Bumrah side here this time. So I mean, Bumrah was obviously, he was frustrated because he wanted to bowl that over as soon as, but Khwaja wasn't ready. He was delaying the proceedings, and all he said was, come on, let's get on with it. And then out of nowhere, Sam comes in, where I don't think he needed to. It was between him, Bumrah and Khwaja. So I don't know why Sam had to come in between. And rightly so, Bumrah, said to him, "What's your problem?" And then straight away he takes a wicket, and then all the team members, Indian team members, showed solidarity with Bumrah, rightly so. And this brings an exciting morning tomorrow. So that I will be hooked on right from the start to see what happens between Sam and Bumrah.
Absolutely. Punk, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just a few things, right? So there's some memes going around on that instance, right? I just want to tell people about, like, so there's this match with Mitchell Johnson talking to James Anderson, right? Why chopping mate, not getting in wickets, and then you have James Anderson, right? He goes and he knocks the stumps out of the batsman, and then he shows, so something similar has happened with you do not rile great bowlers, you do not rile up great bowlers, right? So good for India. And the next ball has gone out, and I have a feeling you'll see Siraj and Prashid all of riling up, because if you attack one of the team, right, you're attacking, and then whatever has happened on the dressing room and the division in the team, I have a feeling this one instance is going to bring the team together. You do not attack Bumrah. He's one of the nicest person, right? Ever played the game. And you attack somebody who's very nice and everybody loves him, and that's a wrong strategy. If they would have attacked Kohli or somebody else, would have been slightly different. But with attacking Bumrah, and Bumrah is like he's not earned respect just within the Indian team or the Indian this thing. He's earned respect in entire Australia, and as if you guys know that he's got the best stats ever who has visited Australia, right? So wrong thing to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And also you compete against the captain, isn't it? So
yeah.
Not
That's a great point you made there, Punk. I think it brings the Indian camp together, right? The unity, and you can actually see that after the last delivery. Yes, sorry. Good.
And just to add, like, if you see when Khwaja got out, look at all the team members.
Yeah,
it was not just Kohli. Generally, Kohli does that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Look at how the entire team
They all ran towards Conscious. Yes.
it was not, and it was not like a coordinated effort or something. It was on the spur of the moment. It has riled up each and every player. And
Absolutely, and that kind of put things into perspective for day two. A lot coming up, so yeah, let's see how day two unfolds, and the first hour is going to be crucial. But yeah, just want to probably close out on the note, and look forward to day two. Also want to quickly call out the Afghanistan Zimbabwe test that kind of started yesterday. So interesting fact, right? First test, first innings, Afghanistan managed to put on a score of 600 something with two double hundreds. But obviously, come the second test, first innings, they bundled out for 150 with Zimbabwe now 6 runs, 6 for no loss. And then subsequently, the South Africa slash Pakistan in the second test. South Africa are batting. They have Ryan Rickelton, who already scored 140 something the last time I checked the scorecard. And then Bauma is on the verge of scoring 100, and he did manage to get another 100. So, yeah, kudos to him since he kind of took over the captainship. South Africa as a unit are making big strides. So obviously now they're qualified for the WTC final as well. But something I want to call out. Yeah, look forward to day two. We'll connect with you guys soon. Thank you for all of you. Again, hope you enjoy this podcast, and we connect soon. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
guys.